and welcome! Standing behind me is my gaming setup. I've had this in its current configuration for about a year now, and unfortunately a few things have broken and, well, it's just time to actually update it. So today I thought it'd be fun to walk you through not just how it's set up now, but also what I'm planning on doing and how I set it up today, I guess. Currently, the way this gaming setup is actually pretty good. I'm not going to change much from where it was. I have a HDMI docking area here with brought up power and HDMI. I have Genesis record player switch, and then I have over here another adapter, so it's for composites for the old game console. That way I can actually go and have a bunch of my game consoles here displayed on this shelf without actually having to, well, plug everything in like I used to back in setups of yesteryear. Second shelf is actually pretty good. I have GameCube, PlayStation 3, PS2, and on the lower shelf I have my Wii U, a Bose sound system, which I got for Christmas, a NES, and of course my switching hub. This is the broken switch. It's working now, but if I turn, it can't take the signal in on a PS3 anymore, and if I try to turn a PS4 on, it would just fight it. It is probably one of the worst switches I've ever bought and one of the most expensive switches. This is actually supposed to be a replacement switch. My original switch is sitting, the original switch I had was a Vizio? Whatever. And that thing broke. I got this to replace it, and now I bought another version of my original switch just because of how well it works. The biggest issue with this switch is that you have to press a button. If you have two devices on, you have to press the switch button, it won't go automatically. Ridiculous. You also have composite switch here. So what am I changing? What am I doing? Planning on moving the PS3 over to where the GameCube is, GameCube where the PS2 is, because that has too small of a cable. And I am planning on getting rid of the Bose systems completely. Way too bassy. That thing is way too bassy. I have no way to rebalance it, if there was a way to rebalance it, because it didn't come with the remote when I got it. So Bose system and brick are just gone. I'm not even going to bother including it. I think I want to keep the record player where it is. Might find a new home for the antenna adapter. Might not. It really depends. And might be moving the Genesis down to the second layer. Really depends. But the first thing I need to do is completely disassemble this entire nest of wires and webs. So I'm going to do that now. What I like about this is you can kind of see how like filthy this has gotten. So this has been cleaned recently, like within the past few months. You go one layer down and you can kind of see like in the back stuff like how much more dirty it's gone. But then you go all the way to the bottom where you'd never see it, and oh, look how dirty that's gotten. Oh, I don't think there's any way to go and fix it other than just, you know, every year or so I just come in and go whoop 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 whoop, whoop and just call it a day. Yeah, I'm gonna have to de-dust this whole thing once all the wires are free. This is the first time I'm able to see the floor back here since I set this apartment up. The only cables that are left is my internet cable, so that goes all the way to the router. We have my HDMI cable here. Goes there. That's for whatever else I need it for. So no, that's for my. Sorry, I'm forgetting. The HDMI there is for my recorder. And then we have a spare internet for game consoles. I actually have another spare internet. But this is a closer look at the docks. They're just 3D printed little stands that, you know, are not the most rigid things that are out there, but work pretty well, at least for what I need them to do. And I got one on both sides. This one's actually quite complicated because I threw out the whole metal bits, and these are just little cylinders that are being clamped down by these screws. You can almost see the fact that they're just there. They're just being held in place by friction. Probably could put some glue, but of course you get another one of these guys. That's all like that. So I'm thinking right now I'm gonna go and clean up the rest of this. Then I'm gonna go and plan out where everything's going to go. So right now I got most of the setup done. Top shelf is the most dramatically changed, since what I've done is, now that I don't have a box here, I've moved sort of more of like a tower here next to the record player. So I have my wireless headphone receiver there, which is going to be used to play music. I'm also going to see if I can route it into the television so I can get the television through those properly this time. Other thing is I have the switch up here like I did before, but now the dock port 1 and dock port 2 are completely open, which leads us to the second row. PS3 is now next to the movies, so that way it's a little easier to use. Then we have the PS2, and I really like having this switch here. It just, look at the aesthetic. It matches. Don't know if that was deliberate. Might be because this has, PS1, PlayStation. I really like this thing. I got it from a local shop called Chumley's, where I was from. It just fits the aesthetic. I really like the way it looks. So I want this here. I don't care if it doesn't make much sense. I want it here. But the best part is all the composite systems are up here, or within reach. So I don't have as much wire. So all the wires for composite are just going to be on this level. Genesis, I've moved that from there to here, and I'm not happy with it. I think without the 32X unit, it might be, a lot better, but I like the 32X, so that's staying. GameCube's here. These two systems have been a hell for me because the cables are not long. I got a Retrobit USB. Come on, you. Here we go. I got a Retrobit wireless receiver for my Genesis a while ago, but I do still prefer Genesis controllers. And I do have a Wavebird, but I do like using Rumble. So these are now closer to where I'm sitting, so they don't have to extrude cables around everywhere. Which leads us to the third level, the biggest change of all. So now the Bose system's gone, I got like a massive space. And yeah, the big thing is the Wii U is now down here. I'm using the gamepad to hide things behind it. I have a spot for a secondary console, and over here is going to be where all my wires are and things which will be too short. So like the wire for this guy is too short, and this guy. And behind the HDMI gamepad, I'm planning on doing the rest of the splitters. Like, so I have my HDMI splitter and my new Ventron HDMI switch. These things are phenomenal because if you disconnect power from one of your systems, it will automatically switch back to the first system in series. Or sorry, the last system, so it will go down. So if I put in input 5, let's say my composite, and I turn on the PS3 or PS4, it'll just drop back down to wherever it was after I'm done with it. That's nice. So that's going to be there. And over here I'm going to have all the things. The only thing I can't figure out is, do I keep my NES here, or as you saw a couple of seconds ago, do I switch it with a Super Nintendo? Because I want to be using both systems not a lot. I mean, it's going to be used as much as a Genesis is. Like, this is sort of my fourth slot for a game console, and I just don't know what to put in here. And it's not like I have other systems that I can put in instead, because what, I'm going to put in another Genesis? No. Am I going to put in my 7800? No, that thing actually needs a separate HDMI box because the current one can't handle an Atari signal. Jag? What am I going to play on Jag? Bregman? Nope. And then further down, N64. Not a lot of games I actually want to play on it. PS1 and back there is very dark, but another PS2? No. We really can't see it now, but there's an Xbox there. A 360. I would put the 360 in, or the PS4 in its place, but nope. And Master System, nope. So it's going to either be the NES or the SNES, but I just can't decide which one. I want the NES because the NES fits the overall aesthetic. Like everything up to this point is either black, flat top, and sort of this smooth rectangular design, which the NES, despite the odd coloring, cracked plastics, fits. I mean, look how nice it looks next to the Wii U. But if I put a Super Nintendo in, it fits the rest of the stuff that's going to be going down over here. It's a heated debate. Power switch must be off before loading or removing game packs. I actually haven't read all the little warning stickers. Actually, has anyone else seen a little warning sticker like this on the system? Because I think that's actually from Nintendo. I just never bother removing it because I don't care. Chrono Trigger. I don't have an equivalent. Yeah, I just don't have equivalents. Because if I'm thinking of all the games that I want to play, this has Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy and Super Mario World and Turtles in Time and Donkey Kong Country. This has NES Mario, which I think I'd rather just play it on Mario Advance. Kirby. That's a legit option. Let's see, I got Kirby, Battletoads, the 2 Mega Mans, but they're more like an afternoon-like experience, and I think having the NES up here would be a little bit better since I don't have to worry about, yeah, it hurts, but NES to the side, SNES here. Dang. The other reason I'm doing this is so I can actually go and vet all of my power adapters. You see, this is my Sega Genesis cable, and you see that little label there? These little symbols? I'm looking for something like this. This is a UL certification, and this means that it's been safety tested. So I can go and throw it into my setup willy-nilly, and I will not worry about it trying to burn down my house. Now, a lot of my boxes have UL certifications on it, and or at least I trust that it has UL certifications on it, which it does. Yeah, if you don't trust it, it does come with a little number I can play with. But most of these do, but I know... Oh, where is it? Here it is. Some boxes like this, look at this, nothing. It's just CE compliant, which is sort of like saying I've QC'd this product. And this was going to, yeah. That's not, I don't remember what this went to, but all I know is it's not going back. There it is, it's just going into, this is getting its wire snipped and going into the trash because it's a fire hazard. So I'm just going through all these cables, you know, looking for UL, looking for, you know, another UL. Obviously this is a Nintendo, this is a Switch power adapter, and obviously, you know, UL. ETF, now another indicator that I learned about literally the other day is this guy, the, get in focus here, the ETL certification. So this thing is technically fine, but I don't think it has enough power delivery. So I'm replacing this guy with these. And anything else like this, I'm replacing with one of these. So that way I can go and have, you know, I can have 4 USB power just wherever I need it. If I need a 4th one, I could probably reuse this, but this is only 2 milliamps. Let me just get that in focus for you. Yeah, it's 201 milliamp hours, which these guys are 3 amps. So these would deliver more power to my systems, and I'm hoping that I can actually plug in, you know, my HDMI composite, whatever this thing plugged. I actually don't remember what this thing plugged into. I think it might have been my Porta, but I think I used my USB lead for my Porta. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun figuring out all that, but you know, get my USB cables in order, get all this in order, and we'll basically make sure I'm not plugging anything as I don't want another one of these in my setup effect. Well, here you are. It's done, more or less. I just have to put the NES away. This is the little 3D printed boxes that I have to manage the wires, and I just have to get rid of the Bose system, but that is pretty frigging slick. I can't get rid of all the wire messes, but I mean, from any angle you won't be able to see it unless you're looking directly at it, and man, does this thing look nice. So the beauty about this whole thing is everything that I need to access is now readily accessible. So if I need to, you know, play around with this, or if I want to try out, you know, S-Video, I can. I have all access to the buttons. I have access to this thing, which is my amplifier for the record player. And behind the Wii U gamepad, I have my HDMI switch, as well as my splitter if that ever comes into problems. Oh, this is looking glorious. And the best bit is, it's the same setup as before, so well, it's the same physical switches as before, so if I was to, let's say, oh boy, okay, so no signal, that's okay. That's plugged in, that's plugged in. Let's try PS3. So that's working, and the TV is still being dumb. Oh, there it goes, there it goes. So now the TV works. Now if I get the Wii U on, yeah, there, switched again. Turning off the PS3. And Wii U. I really like this HDMI switch for this specific reason, because it does allow me to just go between my various consoles without actually having to switch, which is why I can just hide this thing here. And finally, composite. So the only thing I need to do is on, and I need a Super Nintendo game. So then, on. So everything's powering up. So that's PS2 checked, and that's the Game Boy player, so that's the GameCube check. There's Genesis, and Super Nintendo. So we have a fully fixed setup that's now further back. All the wires are mostly hidden. I mean, the wires are just here now. But that's hidden. That's more or less hidden. It's what you're doing with PC casing, because you threw it in the back. But anyways, oh, that was fun. Well, fun for me. I hope the time-lapse worked. I did set up a time-lapse camera, but I have a strong feeling, because I just checked it and it died at some point, that you didn't see the full end bit. But, you know, out of all the things, that's not the worst that can happen. Anyways, thank you ever so much for watching this impromptu setup thing. Hope you enjoyed it. I think that's how these things work. But that's my gaming setup. Perfect for everything I need to do and perfect for recording. Hope you have yourself a good day. And as always, take care.